Okay guys, you get to look at my ugly face while I try to work on this end piece here and get the hooks, which I put away. I like to keep all of the pieces that come off of something that I'm working on in one location, so I get these jars, all sorts of jars. Now instead of sitting here and trying to go, okay, it's like that, I like to have more information. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this wonderful tool here. If you don't have one, you should have it in your shop. And I know roughly where the deepest part is, but I'm going to like guesstimate and go press it up to the point that I need so that this part is flush with the edge. And then, just for convenience of marking, I'm going to take my combination square, slide it up there to it, and tighten it down. That way I can just kind of make a quick line. It's kind of all the way across so I can see what I want. And then double check that the space between the back of that cut, because remember it's semicircle, that I've got plenty of room between the back of that cut and the halfway point where this part slides into and hooks down on the headboard and footboard. So I'm going to take and I'll bring you up a little bit closer, and you can see here I've got plenty of room. I've got my midpoint, and I can put it in there. It's going to be snug because this is a fresh cut. And these old pieces of metal, unlike modern ones, are a little bit wider than the kerf of a blade. I mean, I could get probably a blade with a wider kerf to match this, but with the blades that I've got, this is what I'm working with. So it's going to be a tight fit when I shove this in here. So I'm going to do the majority of my work out here on top. I'm just going to trace those, color them in a little bit so that they're nice and visible. And that's where I'm going to drill my holes for my carriage bolts so that they rest in here nice and snug when I take and hang this. And I actually think I put these on the wrong end. I think it should probably be that way, although I don't know that it would matter much. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, it'll still work. It will still work. So it's a good thing, one way or the other. And that's how I make my marks. Soap. Now, quick word about soap. I use this on the flat part of my hand planes. I'll show you real quick. I got one up here. This is my lovely number 11 Shelton plane, which I restored not long ago. Put it all on the bottom of this just to make it smooth. I know a lot of folks say wax, but it's the same principle, and this doesn't stay, doesn't hurt anything. It goes away really quickly, but to get the thing started when you're hand planing, so. Let's move over here for a moment. I want to talk about this part right here. Now normally with these hook beds, you know, the bar hooks on these, which are inside the headboard. And these are sticking out a little bit. They're a little proud. But what we're going to end up doing is we're going to cut those off, and then from about right here down to the other end, a strip right down along right here, we're going to have a piece of board. Let me give you an example. This is a little bit big, you get the idea. I'm going to put a board that's nice and solid, not completely in line with it, but about that far apart, and it's going to sit here, and the slats of the bed are going to rest on this part so that it's going to be nice and strong, and I'm going to take and be able to anchor them at intervals, kind of like where these holes were. So it'll be a nice solid bed piece once it's all put back